Welcome to Let Me Know How It Is, a pop culture podcast about animation, TV, movies, comics, and more. We are back for our pop culture year-end review of 2025. I'm Clifton.
I'm Frank Melman.
And I'm Zack Slater.
All right, it's been a minute, but we're back together, and we are going to tell you where we've been, what we've been watching, what we've been into, and what we've enjoyed for the past year. We're going to open up a little more, so sometimes some of the stuff we might be discussing isn't strictly stuff that came out in the year 2025, but is stuff that we enjoyed or experienced in 2025 that we just want to share with y'all. So that's going to be what we're up to tonight. Are you all ready?
Yes.
Yes.
I watched a fair amount of TV this year.
Okay.
I didn't really, there wasn't a lot of, looking back, a lot of the stuff that I got to watch when I got to watch stuff was from this year.
Okay.
I'll mention some of those. I watched Alien Earth.
Okay, yeah.
Was it the
Noah Hawley?
Noah Hawley,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah,
Yep.
Noah Hawley's take on the Alien franchise, hence the name Alien Earth. I liked it a lot. The premise of it I thought was interesting. The idea that in a kind of a quest for immortality, you have all these corporations that are sort of vying for ways to basically become quote unquote immortal.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the xenomorph thrown in the mix. Basically, it's a thing where these corporations own continents or parts
Right.
of continents.
Yeah.
And then you have a situation where basically a ship that's been out in space crash lands in someone's backyard that isn't the owner of that ship, and therefore they decide to take ownership and get a hold of the alien, the xenomorph, and some other aliens that are in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. I liked it. I thought it was creepy and fun, and it plays with a lot of the stuff that's in the franchise, and the idea of like androids, kind of like this, like Bishop, those kind of characters from Aliens,
Right.
as well as just the idea of kind of like downloading your conscience into a robot body or a synthetic body.
Yeah.
They play with that as well. A lot of people make a lot of dumb decisions, as they do in Aliens.
Yeah, I was going
Aliens
to
movies.
ask how did it work out for the corporations in this
Not
case?
so great. I mean,
Okay.
but overall, I did enjoy it. I thought it was pretty well done. Tim Oliphant is in it. He
Yes.
was great.
Yep.
And then what's her name? Let me see.
The main character,
Yes,
Sydney Chandler.
yes, she was great. She's what's his name from the upcoming Lanterns? His daughter, right? Hal
Oh.
Jordan. Yeah,
Oh,
his
okay.
daughter.
I did not
Yeah.
know that. I didn't
Yeah.
put that together.
Yes.
Kyle Chandler.
Kyle Chandler. His
Kyle
daughter was.
Chandler. I did not put that together.
But she was great. She was terrific as the main character. I liked her quite a bit. Did anyone else get a chance to see it?
I did see it. So
I did not.
Okay.
I tried to.
Okay.
It's funny. I in addition to like trying to get into the Christmas spirit and stuff, I tried to get into the Halloween spirit
Okay.
this year, and that was on my list, and then it just came and gone too fast, so I didn't get to it. But
Okay.
I like Noah Hawley's stuff a lot.
Me too. I liked Alien Earth. I would rather he let it burn, let it simmer for a minute, and get
Right.
back to making Fargo. But if we don't get that right away, that's okay too.
okay.
I do enjoy Noah Hawley's things in general, but yeah, overall I liked it. What did you think, Clifton?
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. The premise was very good. Like you say, the corporations are basically set up like feudal fiefdoms,
Mhm.
kind of. They've like divided Earth up into 5.
Right.
These 5 major corporations, and everybody, like basically the continents are like company towns.
Right.
Like everybody on each of these continents works for the company and is at the whim of the
Mhm.
companies. So Wayland Yutani, you find out, is only like one of 5 equally bad
Yeah.
corporate options that people are subject to. The other thing that I really like you mentioned, Sydney Chandler is really good. But
Mm-hmm.
what's interesting about the performance that you didn't mention is that she's a kid. Like,
Right. I didn't want
character-
to. Yeah, I didn't know. We can talk about that too, but I didn't necessarily
Right.
want to give away that aspect. But yes, go ahead,
Yeah.
Clifton.
I mean, I'm willing to get him because it is it is the first episode
Gotcha.
that you do get that setup that some of them in their quest for immortality are children of bad circumstances who basically have their consciousness put into what we know of as synthoids to make sort of a hybrid.
Yeah.
But that does get us a lot of good performances where
Mhm.
like they are adults, but they have to capture the like innocence, curiosity, and fear of children to adolescents. And she's very good at that. And the other thing playing into that is it's not just xenomorphs that we get in this show. Like Noah Hawley brings a whole lot more of horror and alien, not capital alien, not xenomorph alien, but other forms of alien life that are all equally horrific and terrifying in different ways, to expand on what there is to be afraid of in that universe. And like the eyeball alien, I won't say any more than that. And if you've seen it, you know. The leeches in the early episode. Yeah, it's just plant things.
Right. Yeah, there's a fair amount of like creepiness with the aliens and stuff that, you know, and there's also a fair amount of just people being, you know, various levels of terrible, as well as the fact that there's a lot of classist stuff in it too, as well as like adults versus kids, and you know, what is it to be, you know, when is your, you know, like there's a lot of good questions in it about what it is to be alive, which I thought was really interesting. I like that aspect of it too.
Sounds cool.
It does, yeah. It does a lot of that. The other one that I wanted to mention was the guy that plays her brother.
Right.
He's interesting because I thought he was in that, and he's in Andor. He's the one that gives the manifesto. That's his other big role. So he's got this franchise, and he's also the Star Wars franchise for Andor.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought again, all the performances I thought were great. Overall, it was really well done. I thought that the production was great too. I know some of the, you know, there was, as always, there's people that are pissed because they didn't get what they thought they were going to get out of it, but you get that too. That's the thing about it, is you get a lot of what you expect from an alien movie. So, with that regard, I really enjoyed Alien Earth. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Is it accessible to somebody who's I like the alien stuff, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a huge fan, you know. Like I've seen the first two. That's it. Like I didn't stick with it like anywhere else.
Right.
You know.
No, it's from what I can tell from other reviews. Not to cut you off. From what I can tell from other review stuff, when I was looking like stuff that I didn't necessarily know because I'm not that deep into it either. I've seen more than the first two, but no, there's references and stuff to the other ones, but really you don't, where it's set in the quote unquote timeline, because some people are like, well, this violates the continuity of, you know, as always.
Right.
You know, from the, you know, the people that are super into it are like, whoa, wait a minute. And I say that, I say this someone
and I just don't like it that way. It's the same, like I'm the same way with Star Trek.
Sure.
Where it's like people go in super, super deep and I'm just like, I kind of don't come to it for that.
Sure. If
that makes sense, take a weird tangent.
I think if you've seen the first two, you'll be okay enough to not have to, like, you know, have a crash course in the rest of it. Right. I don't. Okay. Think. Clifton,
I'm not begrudging it, like, you know, but that was my interest lied not in the fact that it was an alien franchise thing. My interest completely lied in the fact that it was Noah Hawley in this, like playing had this thing to play with. He had this sandbox to play in.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it was really more him than it was the franchise. Like, I think if it wasn't him, the intrigue wouldn't have been there for me.
I'll put it this way: it's a take. You know, that's the thing. It's a take. I mean, I understand why. I mean, then even I don't want to get too deep in the premise if you haven't seen it yet. I had an issue or two with the premise because I think a lot of the stuff was not a bad thing to do, but I think a little of it was executed clunkily, which surprisingly for him. But I also, it's also like, as far as I know, well, no, it's not. I guess it would be his second, if you count Legion, his second time working on something that really isn't his. Well, Fargo is too. I take that back. I think this was the one that he didn't execute quite as well, because I think he really was like, no, this is what this is, and we're sticking with this. And I think in some places it really works. In other places, I'm like, dude, you're hitting us over the head. So, but otherwise, I did really enjoy it. I don't want to knock it. I think everyone did really good work on it. And I look forward to it coming back. I just, you know, if I had to put all my chips on one side or the other, please give me more Fargo. That's the one I liked more. But that's just me. That's just me.
So the question of accessibility, I agree with Frank. I think if you know what a xenomorph is, if you know the corporations tend to not be great in these.
It's a bad call, movies. Ripley. It was a bad call.
Weyland-Yutani is not have the best interests of their employees at heart.
No.
That's really all you need.
Yeah.
To extrapolate out of this. It's a different enough setting from the movies. It takes it in a different direction. It does pay homage to especially the first Alien. The first two, like more so than what came later. I was at New York Comic Con. I did attend the panel for Alien Earth. Yeah, I did make it into that one, which was pretty fun. But one thing they did bring up, and it was the first time they'd revealed it to the cast, was that Ridley Scott had written a letter after the show concluded, and to share his thoughts on the show,
right?
And it was a praising letter. It was he did actually praise what they had done, but like a big part of the praise was him being like, you stayed faithful to what I did in the first movie.
Right.
So I really like that you did that. Gotcha. So that shouldn't be a surprise, but it does feel, like they really do try to pay tribute to where they came from.
Oh yeah.
But you don't have to have been along for the entire ride through, Prometheus or Covenant or Alien Romulus. And I did actually quite like Alien Romulus. Again, there's like a lot of stuff about where that one can fit, a lot of conversation about continuity. I don't really care. Like, I'm not that stickler on it. Like, you just give me a fun alien movie, like I'll take it. And that's kind of how I feel about the Alien Earth show too.
Yeah.
Okay. My viewing habits were weird this year.
Okay.
Very, very weird. I'm in a very weird place media wise, and I'll get to it. Not to sound like a downer, but we'll get to it. So, so on one hand, first of all, I don't think I brought it up on the show, but baby number 3 is on the way.
Full house.
So
busy.
So I've been busy with 2 and also prepping for a third one. So I just like the time just isn't there, even more so than every other episode where I talk about I haven't seen this or I haven't had time for that.
Right.
That's going to come up a lot. So get your shots ready if you're doing the drinking game. When Zack hasn't watched something. That's number 1.
Bingo card out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 2 is I also lost Disney Plus and HBO Max this year. And quickly was not in a rush to get them back.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Sure.
It just like after a minute, like I didn't miss it.
Okay.
If that makes sense. It's a weird thing to say, but I've said on the show in the past where I no longer have a presumption of another season for something. Like I just assume everything's a miniseries now.
Okay. I got you.
Right. And I've said that a ton of times.
Right.
For some reason this year that got to me.
Okay.
And this year was the year where like I guess the straw that broke the camel's back, and I was like, no, streaming sucks. And the way that the way that all these business models are playing out, where like nothing lasts more than 2 seasons, like really, really blows. And it's like I don't want to get into anything.
Okay.
Because like who cares?
I got
because it's gonna be gone. Like and it's. I mean, I guess it's a little bit better now from a creative standpoint because I think the writers have caught up and I think they don't have a presumption anymore of something coming on. So at least they're not writing cliffhangers every time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure. No, I got you.
So I think that makes it better, but it's just in a weird thing. Like I found myself kind of like, I'm in no rush for anything.
Okay.
And not to sound snooty.
Oh boy.
But I will sound snooty.
Okay, good.
I've been reading a lot this year.
Oh.
I fell into like books and audiobooks like a lot this year. That was probably the most primary thing I was into this year.
Okay.
Partially is also just I've just started to like make my commutes count. So I'll just do audiobooks and that and and before I knew it, it's I've listened to like 10 books this year.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was going to be a literature portion of this episode. I would have read more.
It isn't, but I do have a book recommendation.
Okay, good.
It's not one. It's not one that came out
all right.
in 2025 or anything like that. But I ear listened to Manhunt. I'll get you the full title in 1 second.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Okay.
Manhunt: The 12-Day Chase for Lincoln's Killer.
Oh.
By James L. Swanson, and it was narrated by Jonathan Davies.
Okay.
Not the actor, just somebody else's name, Jonathan Davies or Jonathan Davis.
Okay. All right. Well, all right.
But I bring that guy up because it was one of the most engrossing like audiobooks I've ever listened to. This is one of those where like my brain didn't wander for a second, and I didn't have to rewind in any spots. Like I was just riveted by it the whole time. And it does kind of make me realize that, like, I know the broad strokes of the event, right? Like John Wilkes Booth, I know Ford's Theater, I know, Six Sepulturanus and that kind of stuff, but it hit me.
Rather than that, how to enjoy the performance, Mr. Lincoln?
Right. Right. I love that quote.
Yeah.
I love that quote. But it hit me that, like, I don't know how he was, like, what happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure.
And so in the book, going over this, like, in great detail about it's heavily researched and went into all this, but it's written also like a narrative.
Okay.
So, like, it's a story that you're following, and while also sort of like putting in a lot of like factoids and interesting things about the actual Lincoln assassination that I didn't know about in school.
Okay.
And so couple that also with, we are kind of like geographically like in the region where this stuff happened.
Right.
Sure.
And so, like I said, I'm listening to it in the car a lot. And I also just kind of happen to be listening to it around the same time of year as the event itself.
Okay.
Like kind of early April. Not the exact date, but the exact anniversary of the assassination happened as I was reading it, which was not a planned thing.
Did you want to go
sort of
look
like,
for
oh,
clues?
this looks good, I'll pick it up. And I'm like, oh, wow. And that added to it, because as I'm driving around and there's kind of like, wooded areas with not a whole lot of development and stuff like that, it made me kind of go, oh, this is what it looked like, I bet.
Right.
And
Okay.
it was this time of year, and
Gotcha.
it would be getting dark around this time. Like, and it just kind of like, it put me in the world a lot more than I think it would have normally if I didn't just happen to read it at that, or ear read it. I'm going to say that, ear read it.
Right.
But no, I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
That's cool. No, it sounds great. The only thing I was going to say that I did try to read, which I've been trying to read for a while, and it's funny that you bring up the idea that it's told in the story and it's got the factoid bits. I was trying to read, I'm a fan of Edmund Morris. I like Edmund Morris's book about Roosevelt. I've read the one that basically is his birth to, like, he basically gets the call and says, hey, we want you to be vice president. Which I thought it's a very good book. I've tried to read one about Edison that he wrote, which is not a bad book, but unfortunately, unlike the one with Roosevelt, this one is told anecdotally. So it's really easy. It's really easy to read like 2 or 3 pages of anecdote stories and then put it down. And it's like, if you know Edmund Morris at all, Edmund Morris books they're not light. So it's like, it's like a 500-page, anecdotal thing about Edison, where I wish it was much more of a story, more of a linear story about Edison. And it's really not. Not to knock the book. It's well written. It's well written. It's well researched. But that's one of the few books that I've tried it. Like, I've put it down, I don't know how many times, and I just picked it back up a couple days ago because I'm on break and thought I'm going to try to pick this back up again from where I left off and get through the rest of it, because it's just, it's been sitting in various places around my house and I haven't knocked it out yet. But yeah. I look forward to checking out this book that you're mentioning, because I'm a history fan myself, and it sounds really like a good, fascinating read to get through.
Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was one of my favorite things from this year, completely. And I mean, this is so it was made into a show. It was adapted into a show on Apple TV, I believe. I'm blanking on everybody who's in it, but it was one of those, like, Patton Oswalt is in it.
Okay.
And there was some interest in me checking it out, and I just never got around to it. But I think, like, I would see it in the library, and kind of like me wanting to watch the show,
right, made me look at the book and go, oh, okay, well, and then it was, I found it available on the library website for the audiobook, and I'm just like, I'm gonna do it. And I'm glad I did. It was awesome. Like I said, okay, good,
yeah,
very cool.
So for mine, first one to bring up, it's kind of broad. And this can dovetail into, if anybody has anything to add about any of these or any questions about any of these, I can expand. But I'm talking about the 2025 year in horror. Okay. Which this year was a great year for horror movies. Mm-hmm. So yes, it's kind of like a mini lightning round for me, but I'm just going to rattle off some of my favorites just because I'm covering it as like, there's just too much good horror. And some, broke out and became massive, massive hits. Yeah. Others were a little lesser known, but still fantastic. And so just the quick list of my favorite horror movies. Sinners, Weapons, The Long Walk.
Okay, yeah.
Final Destination Bloodlines.
Okay.
Bring Her Back, The Monkey, and Black Phone 2.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's a quick list. There's plenty more because I saw, again, like you all know, I do AMC A-list. So I'm at the movies at least every week, sometimes more. I can now go 4 times a week if I wanted to. I've never made it 4 times. I've never made it 4 times in 1 week yet. I've made it 3 times in a week, many times.
Okay.
I've not made it 4 times in a week since they added that. And AMC A-list is kind of like doing CrossFit. Like, you know, like, the question is, how do you know if someone has AMC A-list? They'll tell you they have AMC A-list.
I'll tell you, man, like in my 20s, I would have killed for something like that.
Sure.
I absolutely would have. I would have been there all the time. No. I'm so envious that it's around now.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, me, a couple other friends make it to the movies usually once a week, usually every Thursday, and then plus other times. But so I did have the good fortune to see all of these that I listed in the theater in their first run.
Even my sort of like you know, sheltered view of media this year. Like even I could I know a bunch of those, and I thought it was interesting. So like in my rants to like coworkers about how, you know, streaming in the media industry sucks right now. It was like Sinners came up a lot. Like Sinners and Weapons came up a lot. Like it was really interesting to me that as much as we're in this phase of like IP, that like really the 3 biggest movies that I can think of this year, I would say are Sinners, Weapons, and then I would say K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
You know, and I could have added K-pop Demon Hunters to this list as well. It's not scary per se, maybe for younger kids, but it is supernatural. It is demons.
Yep.
Yeah.
All included in this year in horror as well.
But it's interesting. I just feel like as far as like buzzworthy movies, I think it's 3 that like completely came out of left field for everybody. I don't think anybody saw them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sinners. I mean, it did start off the year with a Super Bowl ad. And I mean, they could say like from the director of Black Panther, and that's going to generate you know, certain level of interest right there.
Yeah. Jordan will too. I think Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. So it had that level of interest right off the bat. Where like, they were banking on it, but then I don't think anyone expected what it became, like how big it became at box office and how much interest there was in it when it did come out. And everyone talks about the music, there's scenes in it. I don't know if you all have seen it. Did you see it, Frank?
I got to see it. Yeah, I saw it. I got to see it in a theater. Actually, it was
okay.
Nice.
Good. Because like everyone will talk about you got the performances. There's great performances from Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld. I'm drawing blanks on some of the other.
Delroy
Lindo, yeah.
What's her name? The one that she's great.
She's from Loki and Lovecraft Country. Yeah.
And We Own This City. She's a fantastic actress.
I'm drawing a blank on her name, but she's fantastic in this as well.
Yes. But yeah, I think she's awesome. So
but yeah, like the standouts, like you got great performances, it's a cool setting, the cool historical setting, the music. Everybody loves the use of music in the movie and certain scenes in particular. I'm not going to spoil that scene. Although I will tell you, the first time I went to see it, there was a fire in the theater that went off right in that scene that everybody talks about. And it was kind of surreal, like having the fire alarm go off during that scene. And so I had to go back the next week and watch it from the start again, which was no problem. Like I enjoyed the first half again, but so I saw it 1.5 times in the theater because of that.
You're like, how did they pull this off?
Right. It's the second time. It's not as crazy as way back when I saw 28 Weeks Later and the theater lost power at the most perfect time it possibly could in the movie. It wasn't as good as that, but it was still interesting. That one could not have been better because I don't know if you've seen 28 Weeks Later, but there's a scene where the city's about to get overrun by rage zombies and they're all running to a fallout shelter kind of place. It's a parking garage that is their shelter, and they cut off power or lose power, and like they go to like the red emergency lights, and that's when my movie theater lost power in 28 weeks later. And it was amazing because we're all just sitting there in dark thinking like, wow, like they really committed to this bit in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Is it Wunmi Mosaku? So is that her? Wunmi Mosaku?
Oh, the actress? I believe it is. Yeah,
I'm probably saying her name wrong, but I love her. She's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, go on. Sorry, read your story.
But yeah, no, it wasn't as good as that moment in 28 weeks later, but it was pretty close to be like, oh, this is for a fire to go off here is interesting. It draws you into the movie before they kicked us all out.
Yes.
Because we did try to watch the movie until they were like, no, like you really have to leave. Like you really have to evacuate the building. And then we did.
It's just cool. Like I'm really happy that something that's not based on an existing property, you know, was able to be profitable. And it's nice to know that like that can still happen. You know,
yeah.
Because I'm very much in the mindset of like, we need new stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I still love IP and properties and stuff. Like some of the things I've enjoyed the most are you know, based on, you know, 80-year-old characters, clearly, but I do think that it's cool that people are adding to the well again.
Yeah.
You know, all that said, so I did go back and listen to our looking back at 2024 and looking ahead to 2025 episode. And this has never happened. We're like, the stuff I listed in that episode as I was looking forward to, I saw almost all of it.
Okay.
I didn't recall that. I'm like, oh wow, like I guess. So I guess when I've stripped down my viewing habits to such a degree, like what rose to the top was really like truly the stuff I was excited about.
Okay.
I made time for.
Yeah.
Like Wednesday season 2, like I got around to that was one of the ones on my list. Like Win Lose finally came out. It was like on my looking forward to for like 2 straight years. The Pixar
Disney
like
Plus
Little League
animated
baseball
series.
show.
Yeah. How was that?
It was good. I enjoyed it. I think it's not exactly I think what people are expecting, but they are very very like interesting like short films. Like what it does about like building a 3-dimensional character in like 22 minutes is really fascinating. I think. Okay. Like it does a really really good job of like exploring each member of the team and the coach and the guy that's the ref and that kind of thing, and stitching it all together. In really, I guess, like the temporal aspects of like the setting of when it takes place is it's building up to like the championship game. So like chronologically, it's a very very short period of time, but you go back and see contextually like what gets the character to that point.
Okay,
and it's really really cool. I mean, but that said, I will it's a weird thing to do a season 2 for.
Yeah.
I see an opening for it. I could see it where it'd be done, but I can also see where people are not like, not necessarily clamoring for more. Because it's kind of a weird Pixar project.
Yeah.
Did you see it, Clifton?
I did not get a chance to see that one yet. I do remember it being like for years and years, they were saying like it was coming and then it never came and then it didn't come and then it finally came and I didn't get a chance to see it.
Yeah.
How was the Pixar? Like I was curious though about like Pixar's never done a series before.
Right.
They seldom did sequels for a long time. So how did the animation quality stay up over the whole season?
Animation is great.
Were they able to commit to like the Pixar quality for that
still
long?
Top notch. I mean, that quality's there. I think they got a little bit more freedom to play with stuff because they were. So basically what you got, kind of the hook of the show is that you see the internal makings. It's not quite like Inside Out, but you get like the internal like thought processes of every character. And every character, like that kind of manifests itself as like a different visual style for every person.
Okay.
Which is really, really cool, I think. And I think really, really well done. Yeah, I mean, you know, Pixar's great still. I mean, like they may not get me in the theater every time anymore.
Right.
But I'm always looking at what they're doing. And
is it like Ralph Phillips? Like we see how they see the world, but it's not how it really is. Okay.
Yeah.
I love the old Chuck Jones, Ralph Phillips.
Yeah, no, that's a good pull. Yeah, no, you're right. It is a little bit like that.
Yeah, the old Looney Tunes with the kid imagining himself in all the different situations. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded a little bit like you were describing to me.
Yeah. But no, I enjoyed it. I would love more. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what Pixar does with longer form stuff. I get Frankenstein. I managed to get the Frankenstein.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not see that, so I wasn't able to bring that up in the year of horror for my
I
own
was surprised I got
experience,
to it too.
Yeah.
Because it's long.
Yeah.
And you know me in long movies right now, but my wife and I got to it for sure. And
Did you say it fits in the 2025 like year of horror Hall of Fame?
it's an interesting one. I mean, because Guillermo del Toro himself said, "I'm not making a horror movie
Right.
Okay.
here," and I can see that sensibility. But he definitely does some cool imagery in this thing. I mean, it's a weird one in that I can't say that I truly loved it, but it's one of those, like, it stuck with me for a couple of days for sure.
Yeah.
I just like every quiet moment I had, I thought about like an image in that movie or some scene or some, like, you know, and I like the original movie for sure. I've never read the book. I always wanted to get around to reading the book.
Okay.
But I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But what really got me is, again, this was a creator thing. Like I had mentioned in last year's episode that I get really excited when a creator I like gets to work on their dream project finally. And that's the sense I got here, is that like he had a Frankenstein movie in his head since he was like 15.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It makes sense.
And he finally got to it, and it looks like it's worth every penny they paid. Netflix paid for it. I mean, like that. I mean that it's an expensive looking film for sure.
Mm-hmm. How are performances?
Really good, really
Yeah.
good. Oscar Isaac is great.
Okay.
The look of the monster is really different, I
Mhm.
think, but it was also, when I saw kind of, because Netflix would do a lot of like these quick like vertical video, like, you know, behind the scenes things
Mhm.
for it. And one of the things I saw for Del Toro is he was saying like the idea of his take on the monster is it's not supposed to look like a patchwork thing.
Okay.
It's supposed to look like an artist made choices, right?
Right.
So it's not like feeling it out like, okay, I need this here, I need this, right, and just sort of like plugging stuff in. It's like it's supposed to look created.
Okay.
You know, and
Okay.
like once you hear that, then the design language
Works.
for it falls into place a little bit more.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I keep forgetting it's there. It's one of those things like, oh yeah, that's right. Now that you mentioned it, I'm like, oh, I have to check that out because I keep forgetting all about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Del Toro and Frankenstein, how bad could it be, right?
And Oscar Isaac.
Yeah. I like him.
It was kind of a year of Frankenstein because I did actually, like, my brother treated me to going to see Frankenstein at the Shakespeare Theater this year.
Oh, very nice.
Also, and they did kind of like not a direct adaptation. They did kind of like the scenes in between scenes,
Okay.
kind of deal. And like, so like you don't see the monster
Okay.
at all in the play until like the very end.
Is it is like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern meet Frankenstein? Is that what you're doing?
A little bit, I think. The Tom Stoppard.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Man, we're getting
Or Lion
We're
King
getting
half
snooty
of Timon and
this
Pumbaa. Or one and a half.
Right.
whatever it's called.
True. Yes.
Yeah.
Good Woody Clifton. That's a good. That's a better reference than but the same. You're right.
but it's interesting. I mean, like it was very much through like a feminist filter, which was cool.
Okay.
And so you got to see like Dr. Frankenstein, like just how, like, when it was over, my brother looked at me. He's like, master gaslighter. I'm like, yeah, like
Yeah.
it really is. And so it's cool. Like it plays with like all the themes are there,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not necessary. It's just sort of enhancing your focus on things that are there.
Okay. Sounds
Which is cool. Like lot of fun, which was another weird thing for me this year. Like I was, I'll tell you the thing that maybe I was most excited about in 2025 started to like, you know, take over here.
Mm.
Good Night and Good Luck, the Broadway play.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know why. I mean, I love the movie. It is one of my favorite movies.
Right.
I followed this play like some people look at their fantasy teams.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I was
Right.
looking at pictures of the set and everything, and it was like I had a mad instance of like, can I get myself, because I did like a lottery, because like the tickets were like absurdly expensive to get in.
Mhm.
And so they did one of those where like they had a contest every day, like a lottery drawing where like somebody would get free tickets or something like that for themselves and one other person. But like you had to go that night. And there was a mad instance. I was like, can I make this work? Can I put myself in the lottery every morning? And can I get myself up to New York should it happen in time for curtain? But I say that, but CNN, weird thing to bring up. CNN did that like live airing of the performance.
Oh, okay.
Like back in November. And I was like, this is like the Super Bowl for me. It was like I recorded it, but I also like made sure I was there on time to watch it. And like we got the kids down and you know, and it's a complicated play. I mean, that was I was
gonna say you did introduce your kid to
No.
Good night. Made sure he was front row and center to watch.
So quick side note. He did have a field trip to a local dinner theater this past like 2 weeks ago. They kept getting pushed back for like weather and other things like that. And so, but at Christmas, he was telling my brother and my sister-in-law, he's like, I went and saw like a live movie. And they're like, what? And they were like, you went to a dinner theater and you saw a play. And they're like, oh, like, but it makes sense. Like, he would think of it that way. He's 6.
Right,
like,
of course.
You're like, of course. Yeah. Like, that's what it is. Like,
yeah.
But no, Good Night and Good Luck was like really, really like complicated set and stuff like that. And like Clark Gregg was in it from, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that. So that was like, I had forgotten about that. So when he popped up, I was like, oh, right. That's cool.
Coulson. So, right.
And it's also just like, like just in my line of work, like shooting plays is tough.
Mm-hmm.
When you're trying to cover it like all happening in not one take, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's uninterrupted. You can't stop the camera and start the camera. And let's get it from this angle, okay, from that angle. And so like I was just really, really intrigued by what they were going to do with it, how it was going to be blocked out, and like. Did
they show you how it's like basically like you said it was a behind the scenes thing? They show you how it's done, or is it just the play itself?
CNN knew what they had, and they made an event about it, and it had like kind of like a red carpet thing beforehand, and it had sort of a post-play kind of like discussion thing where they brought in like some panelists and reporters and stuff like that. And they kind of like talked about like the themes and all of that stuff, which was like really cool. So I think that they knew that they had something. I mean, and there was a ton of buzz about that play too. I remember.
I just meant from like a technical standpoint, like what are they basically, were they treating it like, it's a 3-camera shoot? Are they trying to treat it like an episode of I Love Lucy?
I mean, they incorporated also because it's about Edward R. Murrow and his show. Mm-hmm. There was a camera incorporated on the set that plays. So you're seeing like Clooney do his lines on the set over here, but the camera on set that's part of the set is shooting him and then playing on a screen. For the audience to see, like in black and white. So it's as if they're watching, so they're seeing it like as if an audience member at home would be watching the show. So that's what I mean. Like it was a really complicated, like kind of like mixed media performance. And the set had like these levels and tiers, and there was, the movie had like these non sequiturs where they would cut to like a jazz singer, and like they kept that for the play. Like they're in a different section on the set in like a recording studio, and they're still singing and stuff, which is really cool.
Oh, it sounds great.
It's a weird list. I have a weird list.
That's all right.
It's what you enjoyed.
Yeah, exactly. It's I much go for being genuine than being like a manufactured list. So that's good. That's a good thing. Because again, I it's another one I completely forgot all about. Look at that, right? That happened. Yeah. That's something they did. So I'll check that out if it's on HBO Max. For sure.
I got one more weird one, and I'll shut up for let somebody else jump in. So, but just to let everybody know, I got one more weird one, and then I promise it'll get geeky.
I don't know if we have any time left. Do we have time left? Are we still?
We got some time. We're all
right. Very good. Go ahead, Zach.
Are you sure? Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
I managed to make it to Noir Alley this year. Again, the Film Noir film festival that we get in October. Difference this year is that I managed to volunteer for it. So I got to work the merch table, which was a lot of fun. There was a nice lady named Jessica who does these all the time, like drove up from like Savannah for this, and And she was like very, very great showing me the ropes and everything. But she let me like sit in on every movie.
Pretty cool.
Also, right? Because nobody's buying merch in between the movies. Right? Like, I mean, during the movies. They're coming out when they're in between. So I would see the movie and then I would rush back out to the table, help her set up, and then I would yeah, but and she was like she was sitting out there like doing homework the whole time. And stuff too. But no, it was a lot of fun and like I appreciated it. So I got to see a lot of cool stuff, and I'll get into one, but it made me appreciate the film festival because I didn't know how big it was. Like Jessica would go to like all these other ones around the country. And she's like, no, this is like one of the bigger ones in the country. Like Oakland's kind of the big one because Eddie Muller, the noir historian who does all the TCM stand-ups and stuff, and his foundation puts these on. Oakland is where he lives. So that's kind of the big one every year. But then I was told like, this is like, we're second. Like I didn't know that like people travel to this. I've talked to people like with astounding frequency of like, oh, I drove in from, Detroit for this, or I drove.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, what? Really? And they're staying in like the hotel, like down the street, like they like multiple days.
Right.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Now you've talked about this one before on the show. You've talked about it in previous years and stuff.
Yeah.
Something I don't know if we've mentioned is the theater that this happens in is the AFI Silver Theater, which is a movie theater local to us.
Right.
But it is in partnership with the American Film Institute. And the rest of the year, they show like a lot of independent movies and like classic film retrospectives and that kind of thing there. But it's a movie theater that opened in 1938.
Yeah.
And most of the architecture is still from 1938, or at least has been, fixed up to keep that spirit. And hasn't been renovated in a different style than that. Like part of its renovation was to keep it in that old timey Art Deco movie theater style. So I imagine it is like a really cool place for people to come from out of town to see old noir films in a theater that looks like the theater you would have seen them in the 40s and the 50s and stuff. So I can imagine they're being drawn because of that too.
Yeah. No, so a big part of it coming up in previous episodes was I was always trying to get out there to meet Eddie Muller. And for like years I would go and he and I would just always miss each other because I couldn't make it on a day he was there to do lectures and stuff, which is another thing like you really appreciate is like, I realize like how long a day it is for those guys to stand up before every movie and talk about it. Like these are like 12-hour days for these guys. But he was not there this year. And so what happened is Turner Classic Movies will do like these cruises.
Wow. Okay.
Right. Like the same, like, and it just turned out that the cruise was at the same time as the festival was going on for us. So Eddie Muller had to be on that, like contractually.
Okay.
So he could be here or in the Bahamas doing the same thing.
Right.
He chose the Bahamas or whatever.
So I'm gonna try and volunteer next year, and hopefully I can hang out with him a little bit because I've heard he's like super friendly.
Okay.
Right.
And with like, you go to restaurants with you and stuff like that. And like, he just loves talking about this stuff like nonstop. I'm going to try and suggest to him that he should interview James Tucker for his noir magazine.
Right.
Because,
animation director from Brave and the Bold, Warner Brothers Animation.
Batman Brave and the Bold, because Batman Cape Crusader just like plays on all of this stuff. And like James Tucker's like love of this stuff comes through in that show so much. So it was a good time. I'm going to try and do it next year as well.
Cool.
So I'll tell you quick. So I saw this movie. I never heard of it, called Alias Nick Beale.
Oh yeah.
Okay. It came out in 1949, and what it is you have kind of like this like really really like beloved citizen who's running for higher office. Like he was already an elected official. He's trying to move up to I forget like what the office is, but he has this campaign manager who is corrupting him and giving him advice that's kind of steering him away from his family and turning him away from like his constituency, and kind of It's a Wonderful Lifey in that way, like, but the real fun here is the fact that his advisor is a guy played by Ray Milland. It's hinted very strongly that like he's Lucifer.
Nice.
Right. And so what's fun about it is like the movie like never quite lets you know, is he supernatural actually, or is he just like, because he'll like just appear in scenes like off camera for something, and then the people like turn around and like he's in the room, and you don't know if he's just like if he just manifested himself there,
right,
or if he walked into the room and nobody noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a fun bit where like he leaves and people are like, I didn't see anybody go, like, right, but it's you know, and the movie is so much fun for that reason, and so that was my favorite of the whole weekend for sure.
That sounded great. Definitely want to check that out if I can find that. All
right, Frank, what else you got?
Well, I had 2 series this year that I watched that the through line through both of them was Keith David. He played a character in both these series. One I know is not coming back. One I have not heard whether it's going to be back or not. I kind of hope that it is. I like the first season, but it's one of those that earlier tied into what Zack was saying about, if things are one and done, then I enjoyed it for being a one and done.
Mm-hmm.
One was a show that was on HBO Max, exclusive to that, was called Duster.
Okay.
It was kind of I believe it's either produced or created by, executive producer was J.J. Abrams and LaToya Morgan. Mm-hmm. It's a Max original. It was on in May, but it's Josh Holloway from Lost, Sawyer. Right. His big return to basically being in a regular series, right?
Okay.
Which I thought for sure that was going to get more of a push, right? He's kind of he's a driver, has a it's set in the 70s. It's a period piece. He's got a Duster that he drives in. That he does work for Keith David. Keith David is kind of like a local kingpin that he's worked for a long time. Josh Holloway's dad, played by Corbin Burnson, is a guy that basically ran with Keith David back in the day, and now his son runs with it. And then you find out that Josh Holloway's character had a brother. He's got a whole thing that he may or may not have been killed by Keith David, right? So now you got this whole thing where Keith David may or may not be a bad guy to their family. And then on top of that, they introduce a new female FBI agent who's trying to bring all of these people down, right? Played by Rachel Hilson. She's great.
Okay.
Overall, I like the series. I thought the look of it. I thought it was fun. They had a little bit of historical stuff in it. They had Adrienne Barbeau as a character in it from the 70s, which was fun. She also played a character as herself in modern day, but she wasn't Adrienne Barbeau. So there's there was fun stuff like that in it. Like I thought it was a fun show, but unfortunately it only lasted 1 season. It does end on a cliffhanger. I'll let everyone know it does end that way.
Okay.
So if you're going to check it out, I would just warn you ahead of time. It's not coming back. It was good. I thought it was fun. It wraps up some stuff.
See what I'm saying?
Right. But I thought that it was going to be a situation where that we were going to get a possible second season, because again, it's Josh Holloway. Thought there would be a bigger push that he's coming back to a series, and like I said, it's J.J. Abrams. But no, unfortunately, they passed on a second season. I was hoping someone else might pick it up, but we didn't. As far as I know, there's been no talk about that. The other Keith David series that really isn't a Keith David series, but he plays a fairly big role in it, was The Lowdown.
Wait, there were 2 Keith David series this year?
Yes, and he plays a similar character, both of them, as Keith David does. The other one was FX's The Lowdown with Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
Which was from Sterling. Let me see, Sterling Harjo. Make sure I get that right. Who also created Reservation Dogs.
Okay.
This one focuses on Ethan Hawke's character, Lee Rabon, who is a self-described truth historian.
Okay.
He works for a small like a penny saver newspaper there in Oklahoma, and he gets involved with a situation where it looks like a guy who's running for a governor, played by Colin McLaughlin. His brother has committed suicide. It looks like that's what the thing is, and then Lee Rabon gets caught up in it. It's very dime store novel. It's very much kind of a noir in the small town. It's very funny. I don't want to sell it as if it's being something that's not. It's a very funny series. Keith David's great in it. He's kind of a go-to guy for Colin McLaughlin's character, for Donald Washburn's character. There's a couple, much like Sinners, there's a couple runners in it that are amazing, like one-shot camera that are just terrific.
Okay, right. Yeah.
To give you a nice juxtaposition of 2 different worlds in it. Overall, I liked it. I think it's supposed to be coming back for a second season, but I've not heard anything yet. This one definitely, if it does not come back, it wraps itself up for the first season perfectly. you don't miss anything if it never comes back. But it was a nice piece, and I loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Really, really enjoyed it. But again, like I said, I don't know yet. There's been no announcement as far as I know as of we record this. So
Okay.
But yeah, Keith Davidson, both of them. He's great as always. But like I said,
Right.
one we may get back, one we're definitely not getting back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've heard good things about Ethan Hawke in Lowdown.
Yeah, he's very good. But Gene Triplehorn's in it also. Tim Blake Nelson's in it also. That might be all the big names in it. It's got some good guest stars. There's some good cameo bits in it that I don't want to ruin if you don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, Lowdown. Loved it. That was awesome. So
Ethan Hawke's becoming an interesting actor.
yeah.
I think like this year, I mean, there was that show, but also the movie Blue Moon that he was
I didn't
in.
see it.
The Richard, I didn't see it either, but you know, the trailer charmed me for sure. And
Okay.
I'm just waiting for that to land someplace.
He's also in that horror movie that Clifton mentioned, though, right?
Yeah, Black Phone 2, he reprised his role sort of from Black
Okay.
Phone 1
Oh,
Gotcha.
wow. Okay.
as the grabber.
Right.
That's what
Which
they call
again-
them.
Right. Well, no, I'm just saying, I just like if you told me that was something he'd be involved in, I was like, I guess so. But
Right.
I've not seen either one of them, so I don't know.
Yeah. This is a roundabout way to talk about some things we liked for this year. And I'm going to come in to say, like, this year, there was a lot of good fan art.
Okay.
And I didn't notice how much I missed it until like it comes up and you see something that like captures the imagination and
Right.
gets like artists we like to like sit down and draw it. And
Okay.
I don't know how to describe it other than like this year, like I just really enjoyed looking at Instagram and seeing like artists I follow, like just cranking out, you know, like fan art that they were inspired by. And things they were inspired by were things I enjoyed. Superman movie we talked about. We did a full episode review of it. Fantastic Four. Saw a ton of fun art for. Again, like we had the super fantastic week of or 2 weeks of those movies coming out back to back. Thunderbolts. I saw a lot of good fan art for where people grabbed just latched on to the characters from that movie. And again, like I really did enjoy that movie unexpectedly. Or maybe not unexpectedly. I think I might have said I was looking forward to it.
I know I did. I was looking for it.
But still, like the direction they went was kind of different than I thought. And I really liked what we got out of it
Right.
and the characterization. So I'm just going with like tons of good fan art. I saw for like a lot of other stuff too. K-pop Demon Hunters,
Yeah.
tons and tons of fan art and tribute stuff too. Like it was just fun to see like that side of entertainment and pop culture where you see like experience it with a lot of people all at once.
Right.
And it doesn't happen all the time. I feel like maybe I've missed it and maybe it wasn't happening as much as it did this past year. I don't know. I wasn't seeing it as much, but it was nice to see. It's nice to see like everybody celebrating stuff together that they enjoyed. I don't know. That's all I
cool.
got for that.
That's cool.
But yeah, we had talked extensively about Superman and the Fantastic Four. We didn't talk as much about Thunderbolts.
Right.
I don't know if you got to see it, Zach. I'm pretty sure Frank got to see it.
No, I didn't.
No, I saw it. I
Okay.
saw it in theaters. Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty sure you did, is Frank.
Once like I said, once the Disney Plus account went away, like I was not able to catch it. I mean, the sad part is that I was starting Andor season 2, and I like watched the first one, and then it went away. And that's the one, like that was the thing that made me miss it. Is that like I was really impressed with the first episode of season 2 for that.
Right.
And that's kind of the show, surprisingly, that is the thing that just like it comes up from people that I wouldn't typically think are Star Wars fans. So I am eager to get it back for that. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but
I did. I saw it. I enjoyed it. It's it's timely. So that's one thing. It's timely, but it was I loved it. I thought it was really well done. Really, really. But yeah, definitely if you get a chance to check it out, check it out.
Yeah, I'll sign up for them back at some point. I think in 26. Jump back on the wagon for some of the.
I'm not going to go too much into Thunderbolts since you haven't seen it. But just to say, like I found one of the things I found interesting about it is they were able to give me a story, a character I didn't care about at all in the comics and make me care about them in the movie. I will say that much.
Oh, cool.
Right.
I love when that happens.
Yeah. And the other thing I will say is that they accidentally fell into, I think, and this is the second time it's happened, but I think they accidentally fell into who the heart of the MCU is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they know it this time. They knew it certainly the first time, and I don't know how much they know it this time. And that is like the first time is clearly Robert Downey Jr. As Iron Man, which they fell into right out of the gate. But I don't know if it was ever supposed to be the plan or if it was just a super happy accident. I think with Iron Man 1, like they knew they wanted to start stuff, but I don't know how much they knew that would be the guy, like that, like he would be the MCU as much as he was. I don't know if they knew that out of the gate because they already had Captain America coming. They had Thor coming. They really knew Avengers was coming. I don't know if they really knew Robert Downey Jr. would capture lightning in a bottle like that and become the MCU. And then we get to the point in Endgame where he's not there. We don't have Robert Downey Jr. anymore. And we get Florence Pugh. And I think Florence Pugh really is at this point the most heart in the MCU. I think she's got the chops for it. I think she's got, the performances down. I think she's got the heart, and I think she's who audiences latch onto the most. And I just don't know if they know that yet. If they know that that's where the heart of the MCU is. So we'll find out.
Hopefully they do.
Is it your top MCU project for the year? Thunderbolts, would you say?
What were the 3 this year? So Cap 4, Thunderbolts, and then Fantastic Four.
Right.
I mean, I really, really like Fantastic Four. Cap 4, I enjoyed enough. I enjoyed it enough, and that's pretty much what I can say about it. I feel like they could have done more for Sam, and we can get into that in another conversation because there is a conversation of that going on right now. I've seen in pop culture media at large and pop culture social media at large. So we can have that conversation coming up, just not right now. But so Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, I liked both of them, and I liked them for different reasons. So I really can't compare. I probably liked them both equally, but they were doing very different. Well, actually, I was about to say they were doing different things, and I don't think they were doing different things. They were doing the same thing differently, of giving us movies about family, but just differently. And I appreciate both of them for that. But I do think Florence Pugh is the most heart we have in MCU right now. I think she's the most gravity that we have drawing like audiences and characters and story.
I get with that. Sure. That makes sense.
And I think they accidentally fell into it again. I don't think it's what they had planned. I just hope they see it.
Capitalize on it.
And stuff we have coming up.
Right.
All right. You have anything else, Zach? Anything else you enjoyed this year?
I do. I have a goodbye.
Okay.
Really 2. John Cena retired.
Oh yes. Again, locally to us, and none of us could afford tickets. So
I really I tried to get tickets for it because so he announced his retirement, for non-wrestling fans out there. He announced his retirement at an event, was going to be an event. Saturday night's main event on December 13th. They had that, but they didn't have the location on the books. The travel schedule wasn't done yet, so they didn't know what city. Turned out DC was going to be that show, which was a weird thing because DC typically doesn't get shows that big. And I was like, and my son's kind of getting into wrestling a little bit here and there. Like we're watching old matches. So I was trying to get tickets for it so he could see John Cena live once. And this thing was like, it was like WrestleMania tickets. Like, I mean, the ticket price for this was like $1,500 for like back row, back section kind of thing.
Right.
I mean, it is. I mean, like, there's one John Cena and he's going to have one last match, because I believe him. I believe that that's it. There's the whole like wrestlers never really retire and they always come back and stuff like that. Like, no, I think truly like this is it. So I was excited for this match a lot. Like I kept, got to keep my son up past his bedtime and he watched it with me. There's some controversy to it because he lost. And how he lost is he tapped out. So he wrestled a guy named Gunther, who was this Austrian, big, tall, like monster heel that they're trying to push and everything. Like he's a really throwback character. Like, he's back to those like Gorgeous George, Antonino Rocca kind of aesthetic. And so there was a lot of controversy that like, the guy that wore never give up on like his merch for like the last 23 years, gave up. In the end, people were like really upset. And I think it's kind of funny to me because that's just so my mother-in-law was at the house and doesn't for it and knows nothing about wrestling. And she's like, "Oh, I heard he lost." And I had to explain, I'm like, but this is like the tradition in that business. The guy that leaves usually loses and puts over the guy that's staying to make him look good. And there was a lot of buzz about this, like, well, are they going to let Cena win his last match? Yeah. Because it is a downer.
Right.
I mean, that is the fact. I mean, and if you go to AEW, where Sting had his last match last year, they bucked the trend on this. And you know, adamantly Sting, from my understanding, was like, no, I want to go out losing. And the promoter of that company was like, no, you're winning your last match. And so that made people, I think, kind of like, well, are they going to let Cena win? But Cena, from my understanding, you know, very much was like, no, I'm going out. I'm putting this guy over. And not only that, but he had them like organize the show to showcase a lot of the younger talent, like guys from NXT and stuff like that, like the up and comer. He wanted it to be a show, like equally a showcase to those guys as it was him. But no, it was a beautiful match. Like I don't have any problem with the tap out at all. I think that image of him smiling as he gives up, I think is going to go down as like one of the most repeatable images in the company. Like it's going to be there with like Hogan slamming Andre and, you know, Austin bleeding from his forehead in at WrestleMania 13 as he passes out. And, you know, I liked the beauty of it, that he said it's over. And the moment his retirement was up to him. And he said, that's it. It's done. It's over. And I just I saw he did Cody Rhodes' podcast the next day, and he said that he was looking at a lot of like not to be morbid, but he was like reading a lot of like obituaries at the time.
Right.
And there was a lot of like went peacefully. And he's like, I kind of wanted it to be that. I wanted that moment to be like, I know it's over. He knows it's over. And I just went peacefully.
Okay.
And no, like, and I really, it was a very simple match as far as like moves and stuff like that. But like, I can't remember the last time I watched a match where like I'm engrossed, like in the crowd was like that too. Like when you're invested in, you want somebody to win, you don't need to do a lot of like fancy stuff. Like the simple stuff will get the fans every time if they care. And that was an interesting reminder to that. So I'm going to miss him. There was a period I don't think people appreciated him enough.
Yeah, he's been there for like, how long was his run at WWE?
23 years.
Wow.
And he did a schedule like that I think will be unmatched. You know, a nice side note to this is that like while in WWE, he holds the record for like most wishes granted for the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Right. And not just for WWE, in general, like,
yeah.
Not just like amongst other WWE people. Like he holds the world record for all Make-A-Wishes for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Having said all that, I'll sidebar to the fact that we got Peacemaker season 2.
Right. No more wrestling, but we do get more Peacemaker from him.
More wrestling. Enough of that. But he's, and I've said this about him before, and I will definitely say it again after this current season. That dude can act. I'm sorry. If there was any doubt that the dude could act, season 2 of Peacemaker, there's some stuff that he has to convey, and he does it amazingly well. Has anyone else seen Peacemaker season 2?
I did.
I haven't yet.
It's it's the same irreverent, crazy stuff that happens in the first season, but there's some real like heavy moments in this season. Wouldn't you say, Clifton?
Oh yeah. Definitely. You find out his family drama is not over from the season, from season 1. There are still stuff he has to deal with about family carrying over from that in unexpected ways.
Yep. And there are definitely some moments where I was like, wow, I was very, taken with his performance, taken with his, his choices as an actor, just really, really great. I mean, I thought the season at first could have been a little shorter, took a little, but that's just writing stuff. But it took a minute to get to it. But once it got to it, I thought it was really well done. I enjoyed it. And there's some, some stuff that basically ties into what the greater DCU stuff with James Gunn is going to be. At the same time, there's not to give anything away if you haven't seen it, but it does tie into all of the stuff that we saw in Superman. So, but yeah, I thought John Cena was excellent. I thought he was overall. I mean, I thought was very good, but I thought he himself was just very impressed with his performance this time around. Not that I wasn't his first time, but as Peacemaker. But there were just some scenes this time where it's just that he's emotional and he's very, very raw as a character. And it's one of those things where I was like, I didn't think I was going to get this from Peacemaker, but I did. And I was pleasantly surprised. So highly recommend Peacemaker season 2. Really, really good.
In the ranking of wrestlers turned actors, it used to be like Batista at top.
Yep.
And then down below you get John Cena, and then below that you get The Rock. But now it sounds like Cena's coming up. He's coming up to challenge Batista.
That was my ranking.
Yeah.
Just following, nothing against Batista and The Rock, and I love both of those guys' careers, and I've been in the stands cheering like crazy for both of them. Batista's a local guy, but I always looked at Cena and I was like, nobody's gonna outwork that guy.
Yeah,
that guy is gonna be over his script, making marks and putting more notes than anybody on set. I just know it. Just from how he approached everything in the ring.
Yeah.
But
yeah, very impressive this current season. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes from the season. Again, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't seen it, but definitely check it out because it's good. It's a good season.
Yeah, I'm excited to check it out.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how it ties back because it ties. I mean, Superman ties very much to Superman that came out.
Yeah.
This year, characters from that appear in it. I won't say which ones, but I mean, some we talked about in like the first trailers and stuff they put out. So it'll be interesting to see how it connects back or what they have planned for it coming out of it.
I've heard James Gunn say that you don't know, you're not going to expect who the center of the DCU is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's Peacemaker.
Yeah. I think you've said that before. Have you mentioned this before, this idea?
Yeah, maybe as we were talking about it, like leaving the theater and stuff like that. Yeah, but
I could see that, and I would have no problem with that. That would be awesome. So, but yep, good season, good performance. Everyone is really good. But I thought again, he continues to surprise me with how good he is in what I didn't know if he would be as good as he is now. So,
the other kind of sad goodbye thing that came up was we lost Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm walking on eggshells for this, like, because how can you not with all the assault stuff with Bill Cosby and everything like that. But what made me sad about this is understandably that stuff just casts like such a shadow over his death, and I just don't feel like he was able to be properly celebrated because like everybody was kind of afraid,
Mm-hmm.
And it just really bummed me out that like Theo's gone, and it's like, like I said, like I'm uncomfortable talking about it. I'm on eggshells about it, but it's like, we do a lot of list shows for the show here, and like Theo comes up in my notes a lot.
Yeah,
and I always like throw it out because I don't want to bring it up, but it's like, but it is one of those things where I think Theo Huxtable is one of the best characters in all of television.
Okay,
and it just like, it just made me sad that like I don't think that he was able to be celebrated as much as he would have been if these heinous things were not a part of the narrative, unfortunately. Now, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, for me it was more like he was awesome as Theo, but also the fact that like more recently for me was he was on a fair amount of Community. So that was one of my other thoughts. Was like, oh, he's Yvette Nicole Brown's Shirley's ex-husband in Community. So it's one of the things where like, oh yeah, he was great in that too. I mean, he's great in a lot of things.
I didn't see it. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he shows up at one point. I mean, she talks about him for like I think the first 2 seasons. She just talks about him being they're estranged, right. And then at one point they end up getting together, and it's Malcolm Jamal Warner. And then I remember, Yvette herself being like, she was just giddy about the fact that like this guy that she watched growing up, she's now getting to have scenes with it, and he's awesome. He's an amazing person and a gifted actor, and it's just one of those things where it's so sad that we lost him. So.
Right. I remember him on Key and Peele in the Black Republican sketch, which is very funny.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It is a good one.
Yeah, so that's my other sad one, and
yeah, definitely a big loss.
And the Transformers comic book from Image, to pep it up a bit, is really good.
Okay.
The Darren Warren
Daniel Warren Johnson.
An artist that Devon has brought up a couple of times when he's come on the show and everything. He writes and draws. So I've read like the first 2 trades of it. It came out in 24, and like I love it. I love it. Frank, you would love it. I don't know if you've checked. I
have not. Out. No, not at all. It sounds.
And I'll be quick because I know we're going long, Frank. Because we talk up More Than Meets the Eye, the 3-episode pilot of Transformers. Yeah. Like we both love that so much.
I do. Yep.
It's like an alternate version of that. Like it starts like it would be very familiar, and then it goes into like an alternate 1985.
Nice. Okay.
You know what I mean? I think you'll really like it.
Okay. No, I'd like to check that out for sure.
I've bought the trade, but I haven't read it yet, just because I am a big
really
Daniel Warren Johnson art fan. I do love his art.
It's like it like works for the book so well. It's so grubby and raw. You know what I mean? Like I say that in a good way. Like it's got energy to it. His line work.
Is he artist and writer?
He's artist and writer. At least I think somebody else picks up and starts doing artist duties like in the second trade. I think.
Okay, I mean, what I will say about his art is like he's a master of composition, and everything feels kinetic. Like you do feel the energy and everything, and he can put a lot of lines down without it becoming over busy.
Yeah.
Because I think you can all think of a lot of artists that put a lot of lines down, and it kind of starts to get muddled.
Right.
And you don't know exactly what's happening. And he never runs into that. So he can, like, all of his lines are like perfectly composed. So you always know exactly what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, that's a great way to put. Yeah. No, he never loses focus.
Yeah.
On what you're supposed to be Yeah. That's a good point.
Okay. Yeah. I know this. I knew the artist, but didn't know him by name. Yeah. I know some of his stuff. I've seen his stuff. Did the Wonder Woman Dead Earth.
Right, the Wonder Woman. Yeah, I think Devon brought that up on one of our episodes.
Devon brought that up. Devon brought up Do a Power Bomb, which was like an indie book of his.
Yeah. Right. Looks like he also did a Beta Ray Bill mini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Murder Falcon. I think he did Murder Falcon.
Yeah, good stuff. A lot. You said a lot of energy, right?
Yep.
Yeah. No, I'll check out the Transformers. That sounds really cool.
My last one is this is I guess kind of into lightning round territory, unless you got a real one you want to spend some time on, Frank.
The only thing I was going to mention was we didn't really talk about, but I'll talk about it real quick. It just was you mentioned it was a good year for horror. Welcome to Derry.
Okay.
I'll talk about that real fast, and then I'll have one real quick one after that, which I really enjoyed too. Welcome to Derry. I was amazingly surprised by how good it was. I did not expect it to be like the MCU of Stephen King stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
there's been others too. Like there's been other kind of shared universe Stephen King things before,
like Castle Rock and stuff like that.
Yeah, Haven a little bit even.
Okay,
Haven on.
But I thought it was much more going to be and I was pleasantly surprised. Top to bottom, it's pretty great. The kid actors are phenomenal. I don't have we don't have a lot of time to mention them all by name, but all those kids are great. I was amazed at how well they were able to deal with the horror, and still be kids. It didn't come off as they were being like trying to be adults. They were definitely children playing, dealing with this horrible thing of dealing with Pennywise and. But no, I thought there was some nice reveal stuff that we didn't necessarily know, which I think is going to be interesting for the next, because I think they've announced 2 more seasons.
Okay, I didn't know they'd announced 2 more. I mean, I don't even know how they're setting up for 2. It could go different ways, but
yeah, as they can go. There's a lot of stuff that they set up for the next 2 seasons. The only thing that I didn't care for was some of the expositional stuff at the end, when it dealt with characters from other things. Was kind of, again, to use the same word I used earlier, when Noah Hawley was kind of clunky.
Yeah.
But overall, as like, I mean, the series for I was really like, I had that moment of when I got to the end of it, like, man, there's no Welcome to Derry on Sunday. That sucks.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoyed watching it week to week. I really got into it. And the theme song that is an actual song from that time is an earworm that you will, like, I found myself singing it a lot. which is what is it, a ribbon and a bow? No, a ribbon and a smile. That's what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, that will creep into your subconscious and not leave. But I mean, I thought it also the fact that it was really, some of it was just really well shot too. Just some of the choices. What's his name is still great as Pennywise.
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, still good, still menacing. It's one of those things of, a lot of times when we get, say, a long-term or a long-form project about some character from horror, it's not always that great. Or you get like kind of like they're doing like a creeper thing where they're doing like a framing sequence and then it's like a story that's adjacent to something that's happened in the movies.
Right.
This I thought was really well thought out and just touched on a lot of good stuff. And it's also chock full of like really good setup for other things that they don't get to in the first season.
And it is interesting because it is a prequel series to the most recent It adaptation movies.
Mm-hmm.
More so than the novel, but kind of a prequel to the novel too, kind of.
Yeah.
Because like the original novel that was published in the mid 80s, it has the 30-year gap, their kids in the 50s, adults in the 80s, 27-year gap. Then when it was the Andy Muschietti movie of recent years, takes place in their kids in the 80s and they're now in the modern day of 2017, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And so this makes a prequel set in the 50s, which is set in the time period of the original novel, but it's a prequel to that too at the same time. So it is interesting. They have a lot to juggle.
Right.
They have a lot of pieces to juggle in a lot of different ways.
But yeah, overall, loved it. Thought it was really good. Like I said, I was sad to see it go. But it's coming back. We'll get playing more of it before it's all said and done. The other one I really wanted to mention real quick was, and I just wrapped this up recently, was Pluribus.
Okay.
Which is from Vince Gilligan.
Right.
Set in Albuquerque. I was joking with my wife that I don't think it takes place in the Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul universe, but it is set in Albuquerque. That city has embraced Vince Gilligan and his projects as they should. It's got Ray Seahorn, who is also in Better Call Saul. She's a phenomenal actress. She's really, really good. Are either of you familiar with the premise?
I've seen about half of the series so far.
Sort of.
Okay. Basically, there's a writer, Carol Sturka, who is played by Ray Seahorn. She's kind of a begrudgingly famous author. She does a lot of like kind of bodice ripping sort of like romance novels about a pirate, adventurer type. She's just kind of like, she doesn't seem to be, it's made her famous and made her rich, but at the same time, she just begrudgingly cranks out these books.
Right.
At the same time, there's researchers who basically discover a signal out in space. They start to study it. They start to find out what it is. And before they know it, they've inadvertently brought something to Earth that starts to replicate and take over the planet. And I'm not giving anything away that you won't know from the opening. For some reason, some people are not part of this joining of all these people, of this hive mind. And Carol Sturka is one of them. And she is bound and determined not to become part of this hive mind, although they are very determined in a nice way to make her part of it. And that's basically the premise of it. So basically the idea is that she is struggling to hold on to her sanity and her humanity and her individualism against this hive mind that really will basically do anything that she asks them to. And that leads to some ridiculous and very funny situations and setups. While at the same time, there is the very real thing of like, what's the question of like, what happened to these people? Are they still actually people inside? Are they not people inside? Or is it just the hive mind now? Or can people come back from it? All this stuff, right? Really fun. I enjoyed it. It definitely goes some places I did not expect. Some of the questions I did have for it do get answered. As far as I know, we're getting a season 2, but I don't know for sure. But I did enjoy Pluribus a whole lot and look forward to more of it.
I've enjoyed what I've seen so far. I just haven't had time to finish up the season. I just finished up Derry like the other day, so I was a little behind on both of those.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I definitely plan to watch the rest of it. It has been I didn't see Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, so I'm not familiar with Vince Gilligan work actually all that much.
Gotcha.
But it's been interesting. It's definitely been, I was intrigued by, she's like a romantasy author that she's got other books in her.
Yes.
Which come up.
It's another one I'm excited to try out. And because I do like Vince Gilligan stuff. I like Breaking Bad a lot. And I like Better Call Saul a lot too. From what I saw, it just kind of got away from me.
Right.
And one of those, like, I just never got caught up bit, but it's another thing I'm going, like, for him. I remember the trailer came out and it was just kind of like, I have faith in him. Like, I don't really know the trailers, purposely kind of vague. Like, what is this? Like,
Oh yeah.
It sounds kind of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah, there's an aspect of it too, sure.
But from what I've sort of been able to, like, pinpoint from other people talking about it just here and there and stuff, it sounds like it goes completely in another direction.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, it's not just. I don't want to get too into it because it's one of those. But I don't want to spoil stuff. But yeah, it gives you vibes of other things and then goes other places. So, for sure, like I said, Invasion of the Body Snatchers is a good reference point, but it's not just that.
All right, I got one more thing. We'll touch on lightly a little bit lightning round on this one, and that is Better Man, the Robbie Williams biopic.
Okay.
Oh, it came out. I think it came out 2024 in other parts of the world. We didn't get it until early 2025 here. It is the one where Robbie Williams, for some reason, is depicted as a monkey.
Okay.
It is directed by drawing a blank on his name, director of The Greatest Showman. And it's just the autobiographical film about British pop star Robbie Williams. And it is really good.
Yeah.
and I'm only like, I don't even really know. Like most Americans, I'm not all that familiar with Robbie Williams. I was probably more familiar than most Americans because I did spend some time overseas around the time he was popular. So I did hear some of his songs on radio and was exposed to some of his stuff overseas at that time, much more so than ever made it popular in America. I knew he was a member of Take That, a British boy band that was in the early 90s. I did know about that, but everything else was new to me in this biopic. And he's a monkey for some reason, but it works. Like it's really good. Some other critical praise I saw of it just online around the time was Dan Povenmire, who's co-creator of Phineas and Ferb. Referred to one of the musical numbers being the best musical number he's ever seen in a movie. And all of his cartoons are all about musical numbers. So he's a big musical number fan. And that was the segment of Better Man set to the Robbie Williams song Rock DJ. And then the other praise I saw for it was from Hideo Kojima, like internet's favorite film critic, who I guess also makes video games or whatever. He said,
or whatever. That's all. Whatever. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
He had to say, I still have no idea why Robbie Williams was portrayed as a monkey the entire time, but I was in tears by the end. Oh. So it is a good movie. Okay. And for some reason, Robbie Williams is a monkey, and for some reason it works.
Okay.
So I did like that one quite a bit. And for the very last segment, so we'll just go over anything we'll look back at what we were looking forward to of this year and if it lived up. We've actually mentioned a lot of it so far because Zack went back and compiled our list of what we said we were looking forward to in 2025. And a lot of it's come up. Frank, you mentioned Superman, you mentioned Captain America 4. I said my thoughts on Captain America 4 very briefly. What was your thought on Captain America 4?
I liked it, but it definitely it's where it's like stapled together. It seems show that was my biggest thing with it. It was like I liked it fine. Right. I was I've said before and I'll say it again. The Cap trilogy, the Steve Rogers stuff is some of my favorite stuff in the MCU. Right. I kind of wish they had taken a little more time and care with Sam's.
Yeah.
That's all. It's just one of the things where it felt very much
sad.
Yeah, I mean, it felt very much like I remember when it was announced that he was going to be after Endgame and he was going to be Cap. I'm like, well, not to be cynical or not to be a jerk, but I was like, when I see that there's a multi-$100 million movie with Sam Wilson as Captain America, then I'll believe they're serious.
Right.
And we got that.
Right.
I just wish we'd gotten a better one. That's all.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I mean, he's I like him as a character. I also would like they try to make the distinction between the two. It would have been nice just to be, part of that distinction a lot of times is you can't just tell me it, you got to show me it.
Right.
And I think it's one of those things where I just wish it was a little bit better. I've seen all the other Captain America movies multiple times. I have not revisited this one yet.
Yeah.
And that's nothing against anybody that's in it. It's just, and I like Sam Wilson. I think Sam Wilson.
Right.
I still say the opening of Falcon and Winter Soldier, that flying bit, I still maintain one of the best, coolest things the MCU has never done, and no one seems to talk about it.
Right.
But I just think there's it's one of those things where I just wish it was a little bit better. But
right.
And I love Superman. We did a whole episode on that one. So
yep.
Go visit.
And then you had also mentioned Thunderbolts, which I touched on a little bit. I think you touched on a little bit.
Yeah, I like Thunderbolts a whole lot. It was one of those where, unlike the character that you didn't care about, I knew a little more about the character, and it was kind of like that one. I didn't dislike. I thought a lot of the performances were great, and the small scenes of them coming together and being a group, being a family. I thought that all stuff was good. I liked seeing them. A lot of these kind of misfits, sort of want to be villains. Come together were great, and I do agree with you that Florence Pugh, man, like that's a good touchstone, a lodestone for them to basically build around. That's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But no, that was my only thing. Was just I kind of knew where to lean in a lot of it. That was my only thing. Otherwise, I did enjoy that movie.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
And Zach, a lot of the stuff you were looking forward to didn't come out. So. We thought it was coming and it didn't come.
So let that be a lesson to people that are producing stuff that Zach may enjoy. It's not going to see the light of day if he's backing it. So,
well, a lot of it was animation, and that does get tricky because it's on its own time frame.
True.
So stay tuned. Some of it may pop back up and looking forward
some of it can pop up next year. We'll find out.
Yep.
But you did see Day the Earth Blew Up, the Looney Tunes movie. I don't know if you mentioned that.
Yeah. No, I didn't. And this was one that, like, I was so infuriated about it because it was one of those that got shelved and wasn't going to be released. And then another company got a hold of, putting up some money to get the rights to do it. And I love the Looney Tunes. You guys know that, like, I could look at a Looney Tunes cartoon and tell you who directed it by the style.
Yeah.
Like, they very much are films. And so, like, even if it wasn't a Looney Tunes thing, like I'm just rooting for it to do well, just under that, like, tumultuous, production cycle that it had. It's a beautiful looking movie. It's definitely a clunky script.
Okay.
I will say that. It kind of pains me to say that. It's a great idea. A lot of funny bits, a lot of great stuff. But I think I think it needed a punch up, in my opinion.
I haven't seen it yet. I have it ready to go to watch. I just have not watched it yet. So.
It is available on HBO Max.
Yeah, I have it on my my archaic DVR because I knew there's a good chance it wouldn't be on HBO Max. So I have it. I just haven't watched it yet. I just figured, no, that's gonna. They seem to be ashamed of it, so I was like,
you never know. You never know. It could disappear tomorrow.
Yep. So I'll watch it. Just not having a chance to yet.
I think we covered everything else that Zach had been looking forward to. Frankenstein, Pixar Win or Lose, Wednesday Season 2. And then there's my list. So last year I was looking forward to a lot of the same stuff. Frank and Zach were other things I mentioned were Tron Ares, which I did see. I saw it in IMAX in 3D. I'm a huge Tron fan. I just love, the aesthetic. I love the classic Tron movie. Seeing it in 3D and IMAX is the way to see it. If you're going to see it, it was really cool. Like the visuals were very cool in IMAX 3D. It's okay. I enjoyed it enough.
After all that.
But again, it was fun to see the visuals. The soundtrack is very good. The soundtrack does
nice.
They do showcase the Nine Inch Nails soundtrack. I was a big fan of the Daft Punk Tron Legacy soundtrack.
Yeah,
this soundtrack I liked a lot as well. So I mean, it was cool. It was cool. If you like Tron, you go see it. I just thought the trailers did a bad job of showing what it was about because they emphasized too much of how it was different from other Tron movies and not enough how it was similar to other Tron movies. So that is my one thing I will say.
Yeah,
because there's different aspects to the movie.
That was reassuring when he told me that privately, off the show. When he told that reassured me, right? Because the ad campaign for it, the trailers, like did nothing to sell me.
Right.
No.
There was a really weird realization when I realized Oh, I'm more excited for the Nine Inch Nails
Yeah.
aspect of this than I am the movie itself. Like, and that made me go, huh, what are they doing here?
Right.
So
Yeah, the ads didn't do much for me either. And I mean, I saw Tron in the theater. It's when it premiered. So, and I saw the other one, the last one. I was like, okay, I'll give, if it hooks me, then I'll go. If not, then I just didn't.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. It's
Yeah.
because again, I think it's you could do a lot of cool stuff with it. I just don't think they choose to do that.
Right.
So,
And then others also on my list was Knives Out 3, which we now came to be called Wake Up Dead Man.
Haven't seen it yet.
Got a very limited theatrical release around Thanksgiving, then it premiered on Netflix in mid-December. I liked it a lot. I did enjoy it a lot. It was similar to the other Knives Out. We get Daniel Craig back as Benoit Blanc, which I think he loves to play. I think he's really enjoying playing Benoit Blanc whenever he can. Good ensemble cast, like we always get in these things. It was a little less quirky than either of the others, but still the same feel, but it takes place in like a small Catholic parish with a priest who runs a tight ship.
Okay.
Played by Josh Brolin. And cast is great. And that's all I'll say. It wasn't one of my favorite things of the year, but I did enjoy it quite a bit. I think it really did live up to the other ones. I don't know if this is the last one of them for a while or not. I don't know if there's any more plans for Knives Out Mysteries at the moment.
I've seen Rian Johnson say he'll do them as long as Daniel Craig is interested.
Okay.
Like, and I co-sign on that too. I think Daniel Craig's having a ball.
Yeah.
Playing Benoit. So I don't think it'll be the last. And my understanding is it's doing well.
Yeah. And then my final one was Running Man. That was the thing I was looking forward to last year, which came out on my birthday this year. I mean, I saw it on my birthday. I think it technically came out the next day, but I saw it on the Thursday night preview. I liked it a lot. I did enjoy it a lot. It wasn't my favorite, one of my most favorite things of the year, but it was a second really good Stephen King adaptation in a row because it came out not long after The Long Walk, which was another Stephen King adaptation. So there was a couple really good Stephen King adaptations. And Running Man was directed by Edgar Wright, starred Glenn Powell, Katie O'Brien's in it, really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. So I would recommend that. I would recommend Knives Out 3, Wake Up Dead Man. I would recommend Running Man. And I would recommend Tron if you really, really like Tron and the Tron visual and aesthetic and want to hear a cool soundtrack.
Okay.
If you're not a huge Tron fan, maybe not.
Gotcha.
I think, does that wrap it up?
I believe so.
All right. So that is a wrap on our Pop Culture 2025. If you have any thoughts or episode ideas you'd like to share, you can email us at info@letmeknowhowitis.com. Connect with us on social media at Facebook, Threads, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Just search for Let Me Know How It Is. We will see you next time. And always, thanks for listening.